Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and we are getting near the end of my Heath Ledger movie watching and reviews. This time I am here to talk about Brokeback Mountain. Yes, I do own Brokeback Mountain. This is a 2005 film that was directed by Ang Lee. And the plot is we meet Heath Ledger, who plays Enos Dumar. He is a cowboy who is looking for work. He gets hired by Randy Quaid, along with Jake Gyllenhaal's character, Jack Twist. The two of them get hired to herd sheep, which I'll be honest, I had to look up in Google during watching this movie. And so as they're doing that, they're away for months and months dealing with the sheep and having to camp out there in the woods. They grow close together. And when I say close together, I do mean in that way, close together. They fall in love, but they can't be together. This is in the 60s, and it's kind of frowned upon for two guys to be in a relationship, be in love. So they sort of go their separate ways, get married, have kids, but they always find a way back to each other. Now, what I think of Brokeback Mountain is, I think this is a really good movie. I do. And it's funny because when this came out, this became the butt or the punchline of every joke that you could think of at the time. Before I watched it, all I would hear about is people make fun or say, yeah, it's the Brokeback Mountain of this, or yeah, the gay cowboys, the movie about the two gay cowboys. And I get it. I get it. At the time, people could make those kind of jokes. People were closed-minded in that sort of way. And when I finally did get around to watching it, I remember thinking, wow, this is a whole lot better than I thought it was going to be. It was just a real earnest story that was even tragic and sad. The two performances from Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal are amazing. They are. Heath Ledger, I know it's going to sound like I'm gushing over this guy or just praising his acting in all of these movies, but it's so true. This film, he's so different. He was such a chameleon. It's sad to think that we didn't get more years, selfishly, we didn't get more years of seeing him on screen because of how versatile he was. And can you imagine what more this guy could have done? This role, he's playing a legit cowboy. He changes his accent, the way he's talking. He has like almost the mumble mouth at first, and you're like, wow, he is embodying this character. And he's very shy and sort of insecure at the beginning. He had a rough childhood. And when he opens up to Jake Gyllenhaal, when they are away on these mountains, and the first time the two of them have that scene, and I'm sure you guys know what kind of scene I'm talking about. There is a sex scene between the two of them. It's really intense to watch. I can't imagine two actors who aren't gay acting out this scene and being able to play it as convincing as it is. But that's where I gotta hand it to the both of them. Also, Jake Gyllenhaal, who we now know is such a great actor. He's always been a good actor, but I feel like he's gotten even better as the years have gone. And here, he's more of the guy who, he initiates the relationship. He gets drunk and puts the move on him, and then there it is. And even after their job is over and they have to go back to their lives, he's the one who is missing Heath Ledger the most. He's the one who first writes to him and says, hey, we need to meet back up. And over the years, you see that he's the one driving miles and miles to him so that they could go off and spend their time together. Like I think 2 or 3 times a year, they start to do this. And before you know it, like 20 years go by in this movie where you have sat through 20 years of these guys, even though they've both gotten married, even though they've had kids and they've had their own lives, they go back to each other. And especially the breakdown, the big argument where Jake Gyllenhaal wants to get away with him, wants to go off and live together and just be happy, but Heath Ledger's like, no, we can't do that. It's not possible. it's sad. You feel bad for Jake Gyllenhaal, especially because he's been trying to make this happen for so many years. But you know who else I feel bad for? I feel insanely bad for Michelle Williams. Michelle Williams plays Heath Ledger's wife in the movie. She plays Elma, and it's not her fault. It's not her fault that she married a guy who wasn't quite sure what he wanted in life and who he really wanted to be with in life. And she seems like she finds out early on that the two of them have whatever they have. She catches them kissing or out the window. And to see her try to deal with it, to see her not confront him immediately, to see her break down and cry every time he's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go fishing, and leave her with 2 kids, and she's just a wreck. You feel bad for her. You do. And Jake Gyllenhaal, he ends up meeting and marrying Anne Hathaway. And I'm not saying I don't feel as bad for Anne Hathaway, because it's a similar situation, but you don't get a whole lot with Anne Hathaway, and she comes off as a little arrogant or a little full of herself, and somebody who, even if she figured it out, she didn't probably seem like she cared a whole lot. I don't know. That's just the vibe I got from her. This movie also has a great supporting cast. Like I said, Randy Quaid, crazy ass Randy Quaid, is the guy who hires him at the beginning. It's not long before when he finds out what the two of them are up to, he immediately shows his homophobic side. Linda Cardellini, she plays a later girlfriend of Heath Ledger, and I felt bad for her too. It's like all of these women who fall for this, you know, these gay characters, and they don't understand why they won't commit to them or be fully invested in them. It's like you want to just hold them and say, this is why. So stop wasting your time. Anna Faris has a really small part in the movie. David Harbour too. Like, it was random to see them both here. And Kate Mara plays the older version of one of Heath Ledger's daughters, and she only has like 2 or 3 scenes, but she's really good. This is like the first movie where I was like, oh wow, Kate Mara ended up being a good actress. Overall, yeah, this movie is sad, is kind of sort of depressing at some point, especially the ending. It's like your heart aches for this story, but it is well told, it's well acted, it's well put together, well crafted, well shot. I can't believe this did not win an Academy Award for the year it came out. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Brokeback Mountain? Did you see it? Do you like it? Or is it one of those movies that you're like, no, I will not see this movie on principle? Which is whatever, your choice. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Yeah, it's in the butane. It's in the butane. Yo, okay. Yo, it's butane. I'll never give up, in God we trust, and it's a must that I won't